Hey you guys, what's up? Alright, so I'm working with only 1 hour sleep. I know, I'm like so stiff. I wish I can't really show you, but when I do like that, it hurts so freaking bad because that's how dehydrated I am. That's how dehydrated I am. And my hands hurt so bad. My feet are like so cramped. They hurt so bad. Um, Man, it's ridiculous. But anywho, so I was gonna do a burn today when I got home from work, and I was super excited. And I get out there, and I went to go get the hose pipe to take it down to where my barrel was, to saturate the ground, and the hose pipe wasn't hooked up, and then the sprinkler or the sprayer, I couldn't get it on the freaking hose. So, and then, I ended up going back up to the house, like, I don't even know, like 10 times, literally, with each time coming back, because, I literally was at the very, very ends of our yard, and anybody that's ever been in my house before knows that we have a huge front yard and a huge backyard, like, and our house is, like, in the middle. You know what I'm saying? So our backyard is super, super big. Like, I don't even know how many acres it is, but it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's huge. It's way bigger than anybody else's yard I've seen. So it takes a while. And where my dad put my barrel at is like, it's flat, but it's like near the edge of the woods, you know what I'm saying? It's not in the woods, but it's like near it. So, the hell is that over there? Oh, there's that freaking magnifying glass I've been looking for this whole time. Anywho, so, long story short, I was super, like, out of breath by the time I got back down there. And I didn't want to wear my brand new shoes because it's super muddy and I didn't want to mess them up. So I put on a pair of my Chuck Martens that are my Chuck Taylors or whatever. And I had a pair of these like super thin Dr. Scholl's insoles in them, which isn't really worth a crap, okay? And I have plantar fasciitis. I think I've said this before, like, on my other channel. I have plantar fasciitis, and it's severe. Like, it's really bad. Like, I'm not gonna show you the bottom of my foot right now, because it's just crazy. But normally, when it's been a day, because I worked 2 days in a row. Yesterday, I worked, I don't even know how many daggum hours, like, 8, 9, something like that. And even when I was only there for 2 hours, I was already starting to get super stiff, because last week I was supposed to have 2 houses and I moved them to this week because of how cold it got outside. And I wasn't about to leave my house 20-degree weather. You know what I'm saying? The highs were only in the 30s. Nah, I can't work like that. Plus, the houses that I have, both of them leave their heat on to like 76, 80 degrees inside, and I'm like melting. I can't work like that anyway. It's super hard for me to work in a house that is that hot. Okay? So anywho, so I when I get in whenever I have these breaks and not having any houses, I literally do not leave my bed. Like, and when I say I don't leave my bed, I mean I literally just hibernate like a bear in my bed and in my room for like a couple of days, if not a whole week, and when I do this, like, sometimes I don't shower. A lot of the times I don't shower. My hygiene is like completely straight downhill. Like, it's really bad. It's really bad. Like, it's really bad. So anyway, and I'm totally ratting myself out right now. Like, I don't even freaking care. I'm so delirious, and like, I don't know, man. I've been up here for a minute trying to get to sleep. Well, actually, I haven't. I haven't cut the light off, and I haven't laid down. I've been on my phone, like diddling on my phone, you know. Um, but anyway, so going back to what I was saying originally, I put on my Chucks, and I wasn't even thinking about it. Like, you know, like I knew that I had to stop wearing those shoes months ago because they hurt so bad, you know. And one of my chiropractors gave me insoles to put inside my shoes. Well, you can put those insoles he gave me inside inside Chuck Taylor's because they're completely flat, right? But you can't put them in Vans because they got that arch there. And like, even though the insoles that I have that arch too, like it's too much, and you can't wear your shoe. So anyway, so I was like, well, I don't need it. It'll just be for a little bit. I'm mainly going to be sitting, you know what I'm saying? Or standing or whatever. So I put them on, and I had them on for the whole time I was down there. So I was out there for like an hour. I never got to even light my fire because right when my dad finally got home and he came down there to like hook up the hose pipe, because when I went to go hook up the hose pipe, I realized there was this thing on the daggum spigot and I couldn't get it off, and I didn't want to like pull it and break it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I was also fighting against the sun because the sun is starting to set now at 5:30 p.m. and it was like about to be 4, you know what I'm saying? And I had 3 bags. I mean, granted, they weren't as big as the last couple of bags that I had that were like full size bags of stuff, you know, it had like massive amounts of all kind of stuff in it. I'm not even sure what these bags have in them because I started to gather them like 4 or 5 months ago. I know that the bag number 22 that I just tied up today, there was a couple hats in it. There's a lot of anime stuff, a lot of Tokyo Ghoul stuff, a lot of face masks that I had, Tokyo Ghoul, like stickers, not just Tokyo Ghoul, but other anime stickers, especially the other ones that were like of the bad shows, like Demon Slayer and, other things. And a lot of stuff that people gave me, you know, like when people would send me Christmas cards or wrote me letters or sent me birthday cards, like whatever. If I have blocked you and I don't talk to you anymore, well, guess what? I'm setting your stuff on fire because I don't want to have that soul tie. You know, God told me over 2 years ago that this is how you cleanse yourself, through fire. And you have to, you know, if you say you're faithful and you want to get rid of this stuff, well, why pass it on to somebody else? Because guess what? If that person gave it to you, then there's a soul tie on it. Like, people don't think that, but there really is. And, you know, and I'm also a super firm believer in energy transfer. Like, I know that that's completely 100% legit. Like, I don't even have to be around my ex to be able to feel his negative, toxic energy. Like, this morning, I was triggered because I was fiddling around on Facebook and somebody sent me a friend request and I wanted to go see who this person was because I didn't recognize them. And when I saw that they were from Raleigh, I was like, oh, hell no, I'm definitely not gonna add them now because, like, I got beef with, like, the Raleigh cats, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of them like me. I haven't done anything to any of them, but they don't like me from some crap that some dude started, a rumor he started about me back in 2015, 2016, because I wouldn't let him get with me, you know what I'm saying? Because I was super celibate back then too, and I was like, hell no, you know, I don't want to DJ, like, no. Anyway, so that's why they don't like me up there. And I'm sure there's other things too, because I'm a Christian and I'm not a drug user anymore and other stuff. But anyway, so once I saw that, I was like, definitely not. And before I got ready to block this person, I started looking at their post, and they had went to a party that was over the weekend that I knew a whole bunch of people, like my ex and other ex-friends, were going to be at, because I had literally just blocked 2 people last week from posting my ex-best friend in their post. And I was like, the second that I saw that, I was like, nope, block. I'm like, done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even playing. And I went through my YouTube, blocked him and his girl, and deleted his videos that I had recorded of him off my YouTube channel. Because I was like, nah, I ain't even playing with that. Like, nope. And I've gone through on my other page, my original page, and I've made the two photo albums of myself private. I've made the 2 party albums of, from back in the day of parties in Charlotte and wherever, rave parties. I've made both of those private. I've already been going through my pictures on Facebook in my original account, and I've been cropping out people. Like, yeah, you got to, whenever, when you're seriously trying to change your ways, that's what people don't get. Like, it's like when I would go to these deliverance ministries and they tell me, oh, if you got anything in your house you need to get rid of, and they start rolling off the list, and I'm like, look, dude, my whole house is filled up with stuff. Like, you don't even understand. I technically am a hoarder, okay? I don't call myself a hoarder. Other people that come into my house call me a hoarder because I have stuff everywhere, and this collections of stuff. Like, I'll just show you super quick. You see all this stuff over there? All of that stuff on the bottom right there is beads. Okay? From that very back right there, that container, up under on top of those treat boxes, beads. That bag right there is Bibles, but beads, and then all that back there, beads. Now, these 3 boxes are from my bed stuff, but yeah, man, and all this crap right here, video game consoles that I got from my uncle's house, like, yeah, and then you can't even see that down there, but underneath there is records. And then I got crates of records. That whole tub right there is smack full of records. And then I got crates down there. You can't even see it on the other side of my bed. I got stuff everywhere. I got art everywhere. Look at my walls, dude. They are bare. I used to have a gigantic picture of Trent Reznor that I've had since, I don't even know, 2000 on my wall. And you can kind of see where it used to be. It's not there anymore. I set it on fire like last year, or 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, however long it's been. But, that's what I'm saying. I've been going through all my stuff and, like, breaking myself, purging myself of these things, these people, places, and things, because God put it on my heart to do forever ago. And yeah, I should have already set these 3 bags on fire 4 to 5 months ago, but I got complacent, like I always do, like, and it's stupid. And that's why I'm doing this Facebook break, like, coming up in 2 days. Is it after midnight? It's almost after midnight, so it will be in 2 days. In 2 days, on Saturday is February 1st, and I will be not on Facebook. I will not be on. My goal is not to be on Facebook, not to be fiddling with video games on my phone, not to be on Netflix, not to be on Amazon Prime or Tubi or any of the other crap, not to be scrolling the internet for stupid BS, but to be straight up, played up, and slayed up in my Bible, and every single Bible that I have, which I have 4 Bibles. I have, this is a New King James version. It is Precious Moments, but it's a New King James version. I got 2 King James version Bibles. I have one that has red letters. I have one that does not have red letters, and the red letters, of course, are Jesus' words. And then I got the word of Yahweh. That bag right there is smack full of my Jesus material that I put all that stuff together last year that I was supposed to have already done. That was already supposed to be empty forever ago. I was already supposed to have new stuff. And I've just been in my funks, you know what I'm saying? And also when I'm doing, when I'm going to be stepping away from all of this stuff, I'm going to be diving head first into my Bible stuff. I'm gonna be making videos daily of me reading scripture or books of the Bible, whatever God places on my heart to do, videos, whatever it is. And I'm also going to still be doing my burn videos. I'm still gonna make candy. Okay, I'm still gonna make candy, but it's gonna be all the Christian candy. I'm not gonna be making any of the other candy like that right there. You can barely see it, but that right there is a corn cuff. I'm not gonna be doing stuff like that. It's all gonna be like mustard seed necklaces and mustard seed bracelets and like Christian candy cuffs. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it's gonna be. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do my burn videos, you know, as I see fit. I got a barrel now. You know, I didn't even finish my barrel story. I'm sorry, but I keep getting distracted because I've only had an hour of sleep today. Like, legitly. Anyway, so, when I finally got back down there and my dad finally got the daggone water hooked up, I sprayed all around it on the fire, like behind where the fire, he had already built a fire like last week and had some stuff burnt. So I sprayed all around that. I mean, this barrel is huge. It ain't this itty bitty little thing. It is a huge full size barrel drum. And there's one hole at the very top in the side, you know what I'm saying? But that's it. Like, it's huge. And I mean, I could have placed all 3 bags in there comfortably and poured all my stuff in there and set it on fire immediately. But then when I went to go light the fire, and I thank God I hadn't even like sprayed the bags yet. I was right about to, and I was getting my lighter ready to do so. And I went to grab it and was like, where's it at? I never put it in there. So then I had to turn around and go all the way back inside the house, come all the way back upstairs, look for it. It was not where it was supposed to be. I freaked out, couldn't figure out where I had another lighter, because I stopped smoking cigarettes like 8 or 9 years ago, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't smoked weed, like weed, crap, in over 2 years. So I didn't have any lighters, like, and if I did, I didn't know where they were at, but I did find one, and it was super small, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna, like, burn myself trying to set this fire, you know, with this itty bitty little lighter. This is not gonna work. And I get all the way back down there, and I'm getting ready to, like, get my stuff ready, and all of a sudden, the wind started, and it was, like, big gusts, and I was like, man, are you freaking serious right now, dude? And I look down at my clock, and it says it's, like, 4:38, and I'm like, oh great, okay, so it's about to get dark here soon. Like, I already know me when I do these burns, like, it takes over an hour for these bags to burn up, or to get like halfway there or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? It takes a long time. So I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm just gonna wait and do it in the morning. You know, and so I looked at the weather, and it said that the wind gusts in the morning are only supposed to be between 5 to 10 miles an hour. I was like, alright, I'm cool with that. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to go. I got everything set up. I got me a chair down there. I got the bags inside the house with my lighter fluid. Chilling on the steps. I found another lighter, not the same one I was looking for originally, but it's the same kind. And, yeah, it's just crazy, man. But, anywho, I know I'm all over the place, dude. This is what happens when I don't have any sleep. I just took, a melatonin burn PM pill and 3 5-milligram melatonin gummies. I haven't taken any melatonin gummies in a couple of days, probably about a week or so, because they stopped working on me all of a sudden. So I'm hoping that it jumpstarts me to be able to go to sleep. But I wanted to share something that I turned to a few minutes ago. I marked it off so I can make this video, but I just want to read this real fast, and I'm gonna let you cats go. But it is 1 Corinthians 14. It says, prophecy and tongues. Pursue love and desire spiritual gifts, but especially that you may prophesy. For he who speaks in a tongue does not speak to men, but to God, for no one understands him. However, in the Spirit he speaks mysteries. But he who prophesies speaks edification and exhortation and comfort to men. He who speaks in a tongue edifies himself, but he who prophesies edifies the church. I wish you all spoke with tongues, but even more than that, you prophesied. For he who prophesies is greater than he who speaks with tongues, unless indeed he interprets, that the church may receive edification. Then it says, tongues must be interpreted. Okay. And it says, but now, brethren, I come to you speaking with tongues. Sorry, I'm super shaky. Alright. But now, brethren, I come to you speaking with tongues. What shall I profit you, unless I speak to you either by revelation, by knowledge, by prophesying, or by teaching? Even things without life, whether flute or harp, when they make a sound, unless they make a distinction in the sound, how will it be known what is piped or played? For the trumpet makes an uncertain sound. Who will prepare for the battle? So likewise you, unless you utter by the tongue words easy to understand, how will it be known what is spoken? For you will be speaking into the air. There are, it may be, so many kinds of languages in the world, and none of them is without significance. Therefore, if I do not know the meaning of the language, I shall be a foreigner to him who speaks, and he who speaks will be a foreigner to me. Even so, you, since you are zealous for spiritual gifts, let it be for the edification of the church that you seek to exile. Therefore, let him who speaks in a tongue pray that he may interpret. For if I pray in a tongue, my spirit prays, but my understanding is unfruitful. What is the conclusion then? I will pray with the spirit, and I will also pray with the understanding. I will sing with the spirit, and I will also sing with the understanding. Otherwise, if you bless with the spirit, how will he who occupies the place of the uninformed say amen at your giving of thanks, since he does not understand what you say? For you indeed give thanks well, but the other is not edified. I thank my God I speak with tongues more than you all. Yet in the church I would rather speak 5 words with my understanding, that I may teach others also, than 10,000 words in a tongue. Amen. The reason why I'm reading that is because, if you go to church now, depending on what kind of church you go to, I mean, right now, most churches, honestly, are integrated with all kinds of people. So, if you go to a Baptist church now, especially if you're going to, like, something like Elevation or, one of those non-denominational churches, which a non-denominational church usually has, like, is, and I don't mean to be, in the wrong by saying this at all, because I don't mean this by any disrespect or anything, because I've been to all these churches before, so, but, a non-denominational church, for me, just means it's like, basically like a mutt, like a mutt school, you know what I'm saying? You got a whole slew of all kind of people. Some people are like, used to be Catholic, you got people that used to be, Presbyterian, and Methodist, and Baptist, and Southern Baptist, and Episcopalian, and Pentecostal, you know what I'm saying? You got I've been to all churches, like all different kinds. All different kinds. I've been to some hardcore black churches. I don't even know what they were. Some kind of Zion. I don't even know what that is. Like, I don't know if... I just know it was a Mount Zion A&E. I don't even know what that means. Like, and I kept asking them. None of them could tell me or would tell me what that even meant. So I don't even know. But it was different. You know what I'm saying? Like, their church was hot. They gave me fans. Like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 fans, like handheld fans, paper fans, and they didn't have, it was hot up in there. They didn't have their AC on. Like, I don't know. They wouldn't even open the door. It was sweltering in there. And church lasted until they got done, And there was no getting up and going to the bathroom or going and getting some water or nothing. Like, man, the struggle was real. I think the first time I ever went to a black church, I was with my Nana. I think I was like 4, and she took me into the black church in Fort Mill, one of them. And, oh yeah, I totally just name dropped just now, didn't I, huh? Mm-hmm. But anywho, so, crap. I was trying not to do that. I better not do that tomorrow in my daggone video. I'll be ticked. Alright, so, yeah, she took me to church with her, and I was probably about 4 or 5. I just remember it was so hot in there, and I was, I'm a wiggle worm, so I started wiggling, and she tore my little hiney up, but it lasted a long time. And then I went to another black church when I was like in middle school, and a couple different times, and they lasted for hours. But then at least at the end of it, we got fed, like that was the best part, was that I got free food, you know what I'm saying? And it was good too, but man, they weren't like my church. I mean, yeah, we would stand up and sing when the choir sang. We would sing hymns with the choir and stuff, but there wasn't no jumping up, screaming, like throwing your arms back and forth, like shaking on the ground, like, I thought your head was about to start spinning around, and then you start speaking in tongues, and it scared me, and the way these people were like contorting and all this stuff, I thought they had demons up in them. Like, I didn't even believe that it was real because it looked really scary, you know what I'm saying? And then when I was in like high school, I went a couple times to some tent revivals, and they were like hardcore, like Pentecostal, or I don't really know. Maybe Pentecostal, but maybe not. I don't know. There were snakes involved, and it was super freaky. And I didn't like that. Like, I mean, these were like real snakes, like king cobra snakes. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, those things will kill you. And like, one man had like a rattlesnake, and it was scary. Like, I was way back, but I watched this stuff happen, and these people were doing the same thing there that they were doing in that black church. They were hooping and hollering, and they were flaring around on the ground, and I just thought it was fake. Honestly, I thought it was all for show. It was fake and all this. And so the whole point of me saying all this is that, I'm not saying that tongues aren't real, but I know that most of the tongues that is being spoken among these people right now is completely fake. It's all just gibberish. It's not real at all. Because none of those churches has ever had an interpreter. There's never been anybody to stand up and be like, that person said da 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 da. Never once have I ever been at a church where anybody stood up and said what anybody was saying. I've only experienced real tongues maybe 3 times in my entire lifetime. And, that I actually believed, you know what I'm saying? One time was when I was in my early 20s, and I was at my Nana's funeral, and, God rest her soul, this woman, I'm not gonna say her name, she just recently died, and I didn't get to make it to her funeral because I just, I couldn't make it. Like, I had to work that day, I couldn't get out of it. But anyway, she started speaking in tongues at that funeral, and I had seen people do it since then, but not like that. And she wasn't spinning around, you know what I'm saying? She wasn't hooping or hollering like she was before, but she was really like speaking in tongues. And even though I don't speak any foreign language, I've spoken English and whatever redneck, but I don't speak any foreign language, and I never took Latin or anything like that, but my brother did, and so I do understand some of the dialect, and I do watch a lot of videos that are in Hebrew. I listen to a lot of music that is in Hebrew. I have a lot of friends who speak Aramaic, you know what I'm saying, and so I know some of the words, or I at least know what they sound like, and every single time I've ever heard anybody speak in real tongues, that's exactly what it sounded like. It sounded like a mix of like 3 different languages smashed together. And it was, and it wasn't like, even though there was an interpreter to tell me what was being said, I felt what was being said running through my body, because it was an electrical current being ran from the top of my head. It was like the second that I heard it, it just come inside my ears and just sat and went all the way through my eyes, came out the top of my head, went down, come out my mouth, my eyes, my nose, come out my mouth, went down, slowly burning this white light. I felt a glow. I couldn't even hold my eyes open because it was so bright. And each time it was like that, you know, and I would be like completely engulfed in tears and like just wow, you know. And a couple times people witnessed this, you know, a couple times people were around me and actually witnessed this happening, and they were like, what did they just say to you? And I'm like, I have no idea, but I know that it was definitely God talking to me through them. Like, definitely. And like, the second time it happened, I was at a house party. I was completely sober, but the girl was drunk as crap. And she couldn't even stand up. Like, she was that drunk. She could barely even walk. And she came up to me, and I was sitting outside. I think it was right before I stopped smoking cigarettes, and I was outside smoking a cigarette, because it was like a couple years after I got sober. And I was with my friends. Of course, my friends were still using and stuff, but you know, so they took me to this house party, and I was like, man, I don't want to be around all these people. So I went outside to get away from all these people, and then she come out there, and she's like, I got something to tell you. And then she grabbed my hand. The second she grabbed my hand, this bolt of electricity ran through me, and it was so strong, it like almost knocked me out. Like, it freaked me out and almost knocked me out. I immediately started crying, like hysterically crying, like to where people started to gather around us. Oh yeah. And I mean, when I say a house party, I mean, I'm talking about there was like 200 people up in this dude's house. You know what I'm saying? It was a house party. You know, back in the day, all my friends were DJs. So like, it was that kind of throwdown house party. And it was crazy, man. It was crazy. Like, you know, she could barely even speak when I was trying to talk to her before this started. But when she was talking to me then, every single word was like crisp and clear, you know, and she, I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy, dude. But the same feeling came up over me, you know, where I felt electricity being run through my whole body. And it lasted for probably about, I don't know, 7 to 10 minutes. And then it stopped. And when it stopped, she, like, just, I don't know. I almost thought she died there for a second, because she just dropped to the ground. And, like, she kind of passed out for a hot minute. And, like, her boyfriend came over to her and was like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And she was like, she was completely out of it. She's like, what just happened? And he's like, what? You don't even know what just happened? Like, and she was like, no, what just happened, you know? And everybody was like, holy crap, what the heck was that, you know? And like, they were asking all these questions, and I'm like, dude, I have no idea. I was like, I gotta go, you know? And I remember I told the people I was with, I was like, listen, I'm going. And I didn't drive. I mean, I didn't even know where I was at, really, you know? And, but I did. I walked, instead of walking through the dude's house, I walked all the way around his house, and then I walked back to where the car was, and I just sat up against the car, like, you know what I'm saying? And I just waited until they came and we could get in the car and leave. And, you know, I've had it happen to me again, not that intense though. It wasn't even like that the last time that it happened, but I understood every word. I couldn't tell you what they said, you know. I can't recall it now, like I don't remember now, but I remember that I understood it then being spoken to me, you know what I'm saying? And I don't like I said, I don't speak Latin, I don't speak Aramaic, I don't speak, Hebrew. I don't understand, like, the words without subtitles, you know what I'm saying? But it was amazing. So, you know, my whole point of saying this is that we just got to be careful. Like, when we go to these churches, man, you know, that's why he says constantly to be testing testing the fruits, you know, test everything, you know, take everything back to here, because everything we need, all of our answers are right in this book. All of our answers to all of our problems, no matter what kind of problems we're going through. You know, that's why when I take my break on Saturday, I'm diving headfirst into my Bible. I'm gonna, instead of me waking up and checking my phone in the morning and getting on my whatever, I'm gonna check my phone, see what time it is, roll over, turn on the light, grab my Bible, grab my daily devotional, and get into the Word and put God first in the morning when I wake up, instead of putting Him first, you know, by me praying at work or when I get in the car or whatever, you know. And I'm also going to start back with my V-shred exercises, walking, exercising, taking care of myself. I'm going to be doing different fasts, some biblical fasts. I'm also going to be doing other health fasts. I'm also be cutting back on my sugar by 50%. Originally, I said 75, but I knew that was not probably going to happen, so I made myself say at least 50%, cut back on my sugar, at least 50%. I got to get this weight off me. Like, it's ridiculous. I should never have been that winded just by making those 10 trips back up to the house earlier from down there. I mean, I shouldn't have been winded like I was, to where, like, it hurt so bad to walk back up the steps, and to, like, you know, I'm tired of being stiff all the time, and, like, you know, hurting as bad as I do with my limbs and my feet and my hands, and, like, not taking care of myself properly, not, you know, drinking enough water and stuff, and getting in my funks where I don't leave my bed for, you know, weeks at a time, and, you know, not showering and all that. Like, I mean, yeah, I get it. Not only is it disgusting, but it's definitely mental illness. You know, I've been dealing with this crap for 30 years now, but not like that. Before, I always took showers. I always took baths. I wouldn't go like a day or two without taking a shower. Like, you know what I'm saying? And now it's like, for the last couple of years, I mean, it's really bad. It's really bad. You know, it's really bad. So, I'm just tired of it, man. I'm just so tired of it. I'm tired of constantly me thinking about suicide all the time. And, like, you know, my exes keep popping back up in my head, and it's driving me nuts, and I can't get them out. And, like, you know, and not just ex-relationship like that, but, like, even ex-friendships, people keep popping back in my head that I've already supposedly severed my soul ties with. Like, the devil is just constantly throwing crap back in my head, and I can't get it out. And so I know the only way to really do what I'm supposed to do is I'm just gonna have to buckle down and get right with God, like, completely surrender. So I'm not going to be talking to anybody really, except for a couple of people here and there, and my clients, and that's it. Like, it is what it is, man. I mean, I called my best friend, one of my best friends, earlier today, and told her that I wouldn't be at her dad's funeral on Saturday, because one of my ex-friends, who is also her ex-best friend, she was my ex-best friend too, but I said, look, I can't. I ain't gonna make it, because I saw her earlier today in a picture. She was the first person I saw, and I freaked out. And then I saw 4 more people that I cut off. My ex was in 3 of those videos, and, like, 2 pictures. I was like, nope, can't do it, ain't doing it, nope, So, you know, I mean, he ain't gonna be there. He don't know them. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, it's a trigger thing. I can't do it. So, I called her today to tell her that I wasn't going to be there, you know, because of those people, and she was like, I totally get it, but, you know, I wish you would reconsider. And I said, listen, I said, even if I did show up, I'm not going to talk to anybody, like, at all. Like, I'm going to be like Darth Vader, like, come up there, like, in a black hood, and, like, sit in the very back, and just, like, not speak to anybody. Crap, I might even be completely, like, mummied out, you know what I'm saying? Like, to where you can't even see my face. Like, I was even thinking about that, and making up a sign that says, I have laryngitis. I don't even have my tonsils. But I was thinking about making up a sign and putting it on my daggum neck so nobody would talk to me, you know what I'm saying? But I've gained so much weight that, you know, that's another thing. It really bothers me, like, how much weight I've gained back. It's really scary. So, you know, I'm hoping that by me going headfirst into my Bible on Saturday for the whole month of February, and hopefully not just the whole month of February, part of March too. I'm not really sure about that yet, but I'm hoping by then that I can at least get my mental health under control. I'm hoping by then that I can have dropped some weight, you know, like a significant amount of weight. You know, I know that these burn pills really work. I know that the exercises really work. I know that I will lose weight and I will get skinny again and get healthy if I just do what I'm supposed to do, because I've done it before. You know, I pushed myself super duper hard. I was able to lose 53 pounds in less than 6 months by taking these burn pills and doing these burn exercises and eating properly and drinking water and pushing myself every single day, regardless of how bad I felt. Like, I pushed myself through it. You know, it might have taken me a minute to get the stuff done, but I made myself do little by little every single day. So that's my goal, is to, you know, I even told myself the other day, like, even if it's only 15 minutes a day of walking for 15 minutes straight, do that, you know? And then next week, bump it up to 20 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever, you know? Like, start small and then go big, but don't do it to where I'm so overwhelmed, because that's what happened last time, is that, you know, I got so overwhelmed because I was pushing myself so hard that, you know, I mean, I still made it happen, but is that daggum rain? It sounds like rain, bro. What? See, yeah, whatever. But anyway, so, it is what it is. Alright, I'm gonna read this last bit, and I'm gonna go to sleep, because I'm just a babbling fool. I know. I'll sit here and talk and talk and talk. Alright, tongues is a sign to unbelievers. Breathe in. Do not be children in understanding. However, in malice be babes, but in understanding be mature. In the law it is written, with men of other tongues and other lips I will speak to this people, and yet for all that they will not hear me, says the Lord. Therefore tongues are for a sign, not to those who believe, but to unbelievers but prophesying is not for unbelievers, but for those who believe. Therefore, if the whole church comes together in one place and all speak with tongues, and there come in those who are uninformed or unbelievers, will they not say that you are out of your mind? But if all prophesies, and an unbeliever or uninformed person comes in, he is convinced by all, he is convicted by all. And thus the secrets of his heart are revealed. And so, falling down on his face, he will worship God and report that God is truly among you. Amen. So, you know, like I said, if the whole church is like, you know, doing it at the same daggum time, and, you know, there's no interpreter, and they're all, like, flailing around at the same time, I'm sorry, I just don't believe that that is legit. You know, I think that I don't know. It's just crazy. It is what it is. I don't know. I might delete this video later. I don't know yet. But I hope y'all have a good night. I'm gonna get out of here. I love you guys. Take it easy. Have a good night. I'm gonna crash. It's super hot, so I'm gonna go turn down my heat. Alright. Love y'all. Bye.